As a result, I think the people in the Congress are going to support it. And that message calls for new frontiers, new visions. It calls for us taking the steps now that will make us no longer second in space and in science. It lays the predicate and the foundation for a space communication satellite that will permit the people of the world to see one television program at the same time throughout the world. Think about that kind of communication, and think about the opportunity that will provide. It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world. It lays the predicate for the steps necessary to send the man to the moon.
We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control.
If you see off the U.S. West Coast, if you look closely near the bottom center, you can see the aircraft trailing. I don't know how visible it is to all of you, but that entire marine layer is aerosols. And all that blows in on us. And what happens when they aerosolize in the atmosphere? Again, it shreds ozone, and it diminishes and disperses rain. It reduces evaporation. This is as far as the rainfall in California, it's a 2 + 2 = 4 equation. Now, I presented this data to Gavin Newsom in the Capitol 2 months ago in his office with his aide. There's no question they got what I passed on to them. But apparently they're too comfortable in their job still to actually do anything about this issue. And until the population is unwilling to look the other way, they'll continue to do nothing. Another picture. How obvious is that spraying? Why don't meteorologists talk about this? Because it's a bad career decision. It's a bad career decision, so they simply want to stay in their job. I've been in the field with USDA soil scientists measuring soil pHs in Shasta County with a solid USDA baseline, getting measurements 15 to 20 times above that baseline. and they looked at me sheepishly and said, what do you want us to do about it? They want to go to work at 8 and come home at 5, and that's simply not okay. It's not okay to overlook this issue. The gravity of it is far too immense. Another picture, you see virtual grid patterns. Are we supposed to believe that's commercial traffic, doing loops in one case and grid patterns in another? It's absolutely not commercial traffic. And if you look at the scope and scale of what they can cover, those are 100% aerosol clouds over the Pacific. That's one of their goals, to block the sun over the oceans, to keep the thermal buildup, the heat, from building up in the oceans. But again, the paradox is what they're doing is actually making the overall situation worse, because it traps more heat, then it deflects, shreds the ozone layer, disrupts the hydrological cycle. This is the pharmaceutical cure for planet Earth that has a list of side effects so long that it makes the original problem look benign. Yet another, this one's a little blurry, but you still see the trailing off the coast. Again, same thing. This is typical every day. When we see these silvery white skies toward the horizon, in the morning in the east, in the afternoon in the west, skies should be blue, not silvery white. And the bottom line is, even when you don't see the horizon to horizon trails, we are absolutely still being sprayed. When you see even the shorter, bright trails, still aerosol disbursement. I challenge anybody, look at the high bypass turbofan jet engine, which is all tankers and all commercial carriers. 80% of the air that passes through that engine is non-combusted. That engine by design is almost incapable of making any type of trail. So when you see the silvery white skies still being sprayed, the horizon to horizon trails are the tip of the iceberg.
The perfect weapon for this new century is not going to be nuclear weapons, killer satellites, lasers, submarines, or more fighter aircraft. The perfect weapon is the one that people will not know is being deployed. Because if today any of the major powers were to get involved in a nuclear war, it'd be mutual assured self-destruction. But what if there's a different weapon out there, one that you don't even know that's being used? What if you could flood out a country or a district? What if you could bring drought or frost, bring cyclones? Far-fetched science fiction? I think not. I think it's probably a lot closer to reality than we'd like to know. Maybe the weather patterns around the world, including countries that are one area devastated by huge floods of biblical proportion, while not far away, there's drought and fires ravishing the country. Or take the United States, it has had numerous snowstorms, again, unprecedented snowstorms that devastate the travel industry and airlines, along with cities and production, all sorts of different things. What if this is not caused by global warming, but something more sinister? Something science fiction that has become a reality.